Okay, this review is for the SABRE Home Series Slim Glass Break Alarm. It's a pretty simple device. Basically, you peel off the sticker. That's like a clear sticker here, and then you just stick it to the window. And then the idea is when it's armed, if the window gets jostled, it will sound an alarm. When it arrives, you have to pull the battery compartment out, and there's a little piece of plastic in here that you have to pull out so that the batteries will work. And then after that, you just have to stick it in to the window. I've used these things before. They're not that great. My biggest complaint about these things is, frankly, unless you're in the room, you're probably not going to hear it, especially if you sleep with a fan on, or a filter, or if you use a white noise machine or listen to music or whatever. The manual says this thing is supposed to be up to 100 decibels. And I'd say that's about right, but I'll give you a comparison. I went ahead and got a decibel meter so that I could see how loud these things were. So just as a base reading, you can hear me talking, and you can see that the decibel meter is recording it, and anywhere from 50 to 80 is about normal speaking range from this distance. So if I go ahead and arm this, all you have to do to set it off is just jostle it. So that's on high. If I put it on low sensitivity, you'll have to jostle it a little more. So low sensitivity, you have to jostle a little bit more. But the bummer is, this thing just isn't very loud. So if I go ahead and turn my decibel meter on, and I arm this thing on high, and let's go ahead and set it off. So yeah, I mean, it gets to about 100 decibels, which is fine. It just isn't very loud. I mean, the timer in our kitchen, I think, is a little bit louder than that thing. If you're in the other room and asleep and this thing goes off, I don't think it's really gonna wake you up, which is kind of the point of these kinds of things. In comparison, our little Doberman things, which we got many years ago and are still working fine, these things are stupidly loud. So I'll go ahead and turn it on. And I think it's actually overloading the decibel meter because it's definitely louder than the SABRE. I think the decibel meter just can't really handle going over a certain frequency. But these things, in comparison to the SABRE, are just not very loud. See, that's registering 110. 116, 120. Those extra 20 decibels, I think, are kind of important. If this is in the same room as you, while you're sleeping, and it goes off, most likely it would wake you up. It is decently loud. But, I mean, I bet you if I set them off side by side, the Doberman would win. Let's see. Yeah. So you can definitely hear the Doberman over the SABRE. So, in my opinion, for these kinds of things, you might as well go with as loud as you can get, because there's no monitoring company attached to this thing. It's not summoning the police. So the value of these things is the amount of noise it makes, and if it'll wake you up or not. That's really the value that it has. So it definitely does what it says it's going to do, but frankly, in my opinion, it says it'll do greater than or equal to 100 decibels, and I just don't think that that's enough. I think 120 or so should be the baseline. So I'm going to go ahead and rate this 3 stars. It absolutely does exactly what it says it will do. All you have to do is just peel the sticky back and stick it to the window. It has a nice little graphic here for people on the other side of the window to see, which is kind of nice. And it has the ability to go into high or low mode, so if if the window happens to be in an area that is getting jostled by the wind or something kind of frequently, then you can set it to low sensitivity so that someone would really have to be breaking the window to set it off, which that's kind of nice. It also has a test button, so you can see it'll light up if the battery's good. It won't light up if the battery's bad. That's good too. The Dobermans don't have that. I wish they did. So yeah, 3 stars. It does its job. It doesn't really do anything special. Nothing really impressed me. So it's just kind of there. For home security stuff, especially for these kinds of things, I would say louder is better. And I think that they went too low on the sound on this one. So 3 stars. 3 stars.